CGA Tour, a podcast unlike any other. Now your host, Calvin Alexander.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the CGA Tour podcast here with your host, Calvin Glen Alexander. That's me. And today I'm joined for another episode of The Catch-Up with Walter Agnitsch. Walter, hello. How's it going? Welcome.
Hi, Calvin. Salutations. It's a little cold in the great city of Oklahoma City. I hear it's warmer in the area that you are in. And Caleb Williams may or may not be at one of your beaches right now, according to Instagram.
Or he could be in North Carolina. I think he's going to North Carolina. No one's talking about this. That's where his girlfriend went. Or the last girlfriend he dated. I don't really try to get too far into the weeds here, but
I was trying to analyze the water because typically it is just a tad clearer in the Atlantic than the Pacific. And that water did look a little clear, so who knows? He might be in the Atlantic.
He could have been in the Caribbean, too. Or the Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
If we're a pirate. Just they changed the pronunciation of it for the movie. So I just want people to know. Pirates of the Caribbean. Right. It's the Caribbean. Same thing. Anyways, with that being said, we got some topics to cover here. So Dallas lost. Packers couldn't lose. Russ dunk. Russ, if you coach one sport, and I think you also got a new addition to your household, right? Everyone wants to hear about the new addition to the household first.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it. I've been fighting this for quite a while, and then I finally gave in. We have officially got an InstaPot for the family now.
Cool. Nice.
So
nice.
It is pretty nice. Cooked. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Looking up recipes. There's something called, I think, the Six Sisters that someone turned me on to, and they have a recipe for yogurt in the InstaPot, which was nice. I haven't made it yet, but it looks good. I've cooked some chicken. I've cooked some beef. The only problem is the lead time it takes to heat it up, but after that, it took only like 6 minutes to cook my chicken. So, so far so good. What can I say? It's a lot better than the crock pot.
For sure. I gotta say, everyone wanted to know, were you able to log into ESPN? Last week, that was the key question we started the podcast with, and it was, hey, how does this work? And my dad was real curious, honestly. My dad was like, so you told Walter how to work ESPN Plus over a podcast? And I was like, why not?
And what's funny is I was, and then I said, okay, well, now that I'm logged in, I'll read this article later that Bobby Marks did about the Thunder. And then I forgot to do it. So
great follow-up. Great follow-up. Glad I remembered.
For follow-up. Yes, I got logged in, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to read this later, and I didn't read it. How about that?
Cool. Well, we'll figure that out another time then.
Maybe we have your dad on and get a little segment where he can tell me what to read and give me a little recap. That way I can act like I read it, but I really didn't. I just took his recap.
We'll see. Maybe. Who knows? We'll think about it. It's a thought. It's a thought we could work on for sure. So I do want to ask you, how did you feel about the Packers game last weekend? Great, right? They just performed beautifully.
Hey, they did what they needed to do to advance. That's all I'm going to say. This team is coming back at the right time. Zadarius Smith is coming back. Randall Cobb is coming back. Bakhtiari came back against the Lions. Jair Alexander's coming back. This is the healthiest Packer team, I think, since Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl run. So I am ready for the 49ers. I know Colin Kaepernick has beat us twice, and then there was that beatdown in the NFC Championship a couple years ago, but I don't know. It feels a little different. It feels like a little last dance, which is what Rodgers said at the beginning of the season. So
there you go. How fitting would it be for Aaron Rodgers to do the Kawhi, win a Super Bowl or a championship, and then leave? How fitting would it be?
Honestly, I would probably be okay with it, depending.
Really?
I don't know.
You'd be okay with your team winning a Super Bowl? Tell me more.
I'd be okay with them winning a Super. As far as leaving and not being too upset. I don't know if Jordan Love's the answer. He didn't play very well against the Chiefs, and he didn't play very well against the Lions in the second half. But I don't know, Calvin. He's just been. It's just so as an owner of an NFL team, it's been hard on me, just the drama of the season. from holding out to wanting to be traded to, the whole vaccine thing and then him getting hurt. It's just, it's worth it because obviously it's a Super Bowl and I get a Super Bowl ring. I assume I get a Super Bowl ring. If not, then I'm going to be very upset. I would feel that as an owner, I'd get a Super Bowl ring, right?
I feel like you would not. From how you've told me how the Super Bowl from how the ownership process works.
Yeah, I feel like me and my fellow owner should get a Super Bowl ring, but anywho, not saying it wasn't worth it. It just was a little bit of a hard season, but yeah, I don't know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Calvin. That's I ramble back and forth. Let's just not get ahead of ourselves. How about that?
There we
There's
go.
still a man named Tom Brady, and last I checked, he's still in the playoffs.
Oh, there you go. There you go, for sure. So here's my question to you. Dallas Cowboys, what can they do,
wonderful.
we do to fix it going forward? We have your head coach, Mike McCarthy. Thanks so much for the gift of that. We really appreciate it.
Yep, I told
Mike
you.
McCarthy.
How many times did I tell you who's going to ruin a game for you, and he ruined the
I'm down to
game.
switch. I'm down to switch head coaches. I don't know if you're down as well. I assume you are, just because Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl, Matt LaFleur has not. But But I mean, a Super Bowl champion head coach for a non-Super Bowl champion head coach. What are we doing? Well, you can't switch them out. Come on.
No, you can take Mike McCarthy and you can go have him be a substitute teacher. I know we're talking about that later on. I do not want Mike McCarthy, and it's funny. There's a street named after Mike McCarthy Way. I don't want him within 100 feet of his own street that's named after him. How about that? I told you, Calvin, he was going to ruin a game for the Cowboys, and it just so happened to be the game in the playoffs.
Unfortunately, did not tell me on any recording that I remember. Maybe it was a Bellman Brother episode, but it was
that was a big implosion of implosions. And
beyond
then the very end where former Sooner great Trent Williams gifted the Cowboys another chance at it just for Dak to go running down the field and not get out of bounds or get down quick enough so he can snap the ball. That's just chef's kiss Cowboys.
Let me ask: Is the dumbest way ever to end an NFL game when the referee trips over your own player? Is that the dumbest way possible to end an NFL game?
It's definitely one of the funniest. But my favorite part was when they went up. I get Mike McCarthy. They were interviewing him, and Mike said that they came up and that they were going to review to put time back on the clock and give him one more play. And then he said, "Yeah." And then they turned on the PA, and said the game was over.
They're like, you're not a Belichick. All right, never mind. Game over.
What an implosion! What a game! And then Stephen A. I don't know if you saw Stephen A. He did his top 5 Cowboy fan reactions, which I think is kind of an homage to one of our lists. Maybe I feel like he probably got inspiration from our power rankings, but they were all Cowboys fans crying, which was pretty funny.
What else are you going to do when your team loses like that? You have the best offensive personnel I've seen together on one team, and you score 17 points in a playoff game. I know the Niners defense is good, but how many offensive weapons can you have to only score 17?
Yeah, it looked like Dak was a little scared to throw it to CD. I get it. CD was probably covered, but you at least got to give him at least a few shots at getting it.
5 targets, 1 reception. Not good enough. Not good enough. So the other thing we can, of course, talk about is the Westbrook dunk, right? I did send you this outline before, the Lakers played last night against against the Pacers, and Frank Vogel decided to sit out Westbrook or whatever. Okay. I got to say, the Russ dunk is like the coolest thing that he did this year, for sure.
Oh, yeah, right? No doubt.
Like, second best dunk of his career? Best dunk of his career?
It's probably a top 5 dunk. I mean, my favorite
dunk.
always going to be the one where they threw it off the backboard and he dunked on Steph Curry and the Warriors.
Mm.
I remember that. That was a great dunk. I think there was also another one against the Spurs, if I remember right. But, I would probably put it in top 5 of dunks. And then, I was on a high. I was, messaging Laker diehard Joel, and letting him know that, hey, this is turning the season around. It's going to turn the season around. Westbrook's this is the turning point when he starts playing really well and meshing with the team. And then he was terrible against the Pacers, and he got benched for the last 4 minutes of the game.
I would say he was bad against the Pacers. He wasn't great, but also the Pacers went on a 23-7 run with Russ off the court. Also, just saying, I know it's not the greatest time to bring this up ever because I know Joel's going to give me flack for it. But out of context, I'll preface it that way. With no context at all, LeBron James has the worst plus-minus of any Laker player for the whole season.
Yeah, all right. See, I've been telling you that plus-minus thing. I'm not a big proponent of it.
And here's where the kicker is of why Joel will be like, oh, okay, well, it is a dumb stat. Dwight Howard is the best plus-minus.
Yeah.
So
yeah. See, and he was like,
stat.
oh no, plus-minus this. Russell's got a plus-minus. I said, your plus-minus relies on the other 4 guys that are on the court at a time.
Well, my question of, what's the lowest or what's the highest plus-minus? And Joel's like, I don't, because I don't know. Because that Thunder game that the Thunder lose by like 65, 70 to the Grizzlies, every Thunder player who played in that game was like minus 50 something. And I was like, how bad can this stat get, right? Like, this isn't like it can be plus 30 is the best you could ever do or hope to be. It's like, no, it could probably go up exponentially and go down exponentially too.
Well, I mean, it's just from when you're on the court, the difference of the scores. So, I mean, if you go up, like you said, when the Memphis won by 65, and that was with a little bit of a Thunder comeback, you could have someone that was on the court when they went up 260, or when they were up even higher in the 70s. Then they got benched, and then the Thunder brought a little bit back to make it a 60-point loss. They would have a plus 70 rating when the game ended up being 60 points. So yeah, no, it's a crazy stat. I don't necessarily believe in it. I think it relies a lot on the other 4 guys on the court, like I said. Granted, I guess if you looked at it at a season length of time, maybe it could produce something that's worthy. But Westbrook has been making these plays where it's just like, what are you doing? Like, he's just like, is he tired? Is he not know what Frank Vogel wants in the defense? I don't know. And so that happened. That happened 2 plays back to back, and then Vogel benched him. But, this is just the Laker way. They diss on our OKC guys. They almost ruined Mikey Muscala. That's, I'm Mikey M today. Mikey Muscala just the other day, I think it was like 12 minutes, had 20 points for the Thunder. Is a tall white Steph Curry is what Mikey Muscala is, and the Lakers almost ruined him. So please bring Russ back to the Thunder. Stop ruining him. I promise you, we'll get Sabonis, we'll get Russ, and this team's ready to go, Calvin.
Sabonis for sure. I got to say, at this point, I don't think Russ is coming back to the Thunder. I think the Thunder have moved past Russ, just be honest. And I do think that at the end of the day, what sucks, if you're a Lakers fan, is that this is your starting lineup right now. Or, well, a couple, like at least a week ago. But your starting lineup is Westbrook, LeBron, Avery Bradley, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and Dwight Howard. That is not a winning lineup. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I mean, the rating can be whatever we want to make it, but like the rating here is just abysmal. I mean, you're talking about Avery Bradley is starting games. He was cut by the Warriors. What are we doing?
Yeah, no.
I understand. I understand he's a decent player. I'm not going to put it all on him, but like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, and Laker fans are forgetting that Anthony Davis is hurt too. And Kendrick Nunn is hurt too. Both of those are going to be key contributors to this team. At least I would hope Nunn would be. We haven't seen him play Lakers yet, but we know Davis will be. That's going to be completely different when you add 2 great players like that to a 5-man rotation. So I'm still, if they play Memphis, if they play Utah in a playoff series, I'm still picking the Lakers. I don't think Memphis or Utah is good enough. Now the Suns and the Warriors, the Suns almost lost the Lakers anyways before Anthony Davis got hurt. Don't tell Joel I said that. But that would be a series. The Warriors, I'm not really sure. That's the one I would
Well,
be really
so
concerned
the
about.
last time lineups.com updated this for me to see at least is January 4th. So the update hasn't happened since then, just in case anyone's curious where I'm pulling this from. But the most common Lakers lineups, there's 6 games where the starters are Westbrook, Wayne Ellington, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Anthony Davis, DeAndre Jordan. So 6 games where LeBron didn't start when he was out. And then we're talking 4 games where, it's again, not LeBron starting, but still Westbrook and Anthony Davis. And then there's 3 games where it's all the guys. It's Westbrook, LeBron, Anthony Davis, then Ken Bazemore and DeAndre Jordan. My key question here is that if you are a Lakers fan, you can't trade Russ. The trade value has not been this low in a while, if maybe ever. And his contract is what it is. You can't trade him. So are you going to really fire the coach mid-season to sweep it on, to just go, oh, okay, that's it? Or are you going, you know what? It's probably not on Frank Vogel. It's probably on the fact that we've had a lot of injuries. I'm fully aware that, Westbrook is not a great NBA three-point shooter. He's not. But when you're talking about a roster or a depth chart that has Westbrook, LeBron, Anthony Davis, that should be winning games, period. Shouldn't be a question. But it does hurt a lot when the backup to Westbrook is Avery Bradley. The backup to Avery Bradley is Kendrick Nunn. Then you have Malik Monk with his backup being Austin Reeves or Wayne Ellington. Taylor Horton-Tucker with his backup being Trevor Ariza or Ken Bazemore. Then you have LeBron with his backup being Melo or Stanley Johnson. And granted, all this can interchange, but there's a lot of bigger names. Trevor Ariza, big name. Ken Bazemore, not the biggest name ever, but like a name I know, following NBA. Of course, Melo. Of course, Avery Bradley. Of course, DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Howard. But these are not guys where I go, oh, okay, let's definitely just see how good they could be. The perimeter defense for this team has to be how they win. And it's how they won in 2020 in the bubble. They had perimeter defense out the wazoo. And they just, who they could really use right now, which is kind of funny. It's like Rodney Hood. That's a guy that is achievable. They could have used.
Hey, Calvin, don't forget that bubble season has an asterisk on it, according to Joel. Because remember,
Every NBA
there was no
has an
no
asterisk going back
there
to
was
the
no
merger.
there was no Kevin Durant and there was no Steph Curry in that. In that.
Every
So
season has an asterisk.
it's got an asterisk. It's
until
not
the
a real
merger.
champ.
Yeah.
Not a real championship. So please don't. And Joel messaging saying that Russ has ruined the last good years of LeBron. Last time I checked, Russ has been on the team for just a little bit, this one season. So please don't tell me that Russ ruined LeBron's season last year. He didn't. Wasn't even on the team.
You and I know as Westbrook fans and Westbrook truthers, but also avid Westbrook fans, that we both thought coming into the season, there'll be 2 things. Westbrook will stay healthy and provide energy. That's what his role is on the team, right?
Yeah.
So does he make a couple dumb decisions at the end of the games? Sure, it happens. Everyone does it. I've done it in pickup games. You've not done it as much as me. Clearly, you're, better mentally at the basketball for sure. But
not anymore.
Mentally you are for sure. Mentally, you've played so many games. Situationally, you're definitely there. What I'm getting at though is that a team of Westbrook, Malik Monk, LeBron, and AD should be incredibly good at kicking it out to Monk for open 3, and incredibly good at switching on pick and rolls. You've got LeBron and Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis has been out. I can't kill the Lakers over that. They're still also not the worst team in the league. It's not like this team is just horrible too. So
when does Anthony Davis come back? I think they'll get it together there. Maybe you fire Vogel because I think isn't Fizdale the assistant coach? Fizdale's got plenty of coaching experience
Kurt
with
Rambis,
LeBron.
I think, is.
Oh, well, not Rambis. I would choose Fizdale over Rambis, but and then hope to get a guy in a buyout. See if someone gets bought out of the contract. I don't
guess
know.
so.
Would Jeremy Grant get potentially bought out by the Pistons? Maybe not, but
Probably not. They'd have to trade. I think he's too valuable to get bought out. Anthony Davis. So 10 hours ago, he's basically Anthony Davis has been out since December 17th or 18th with an MCL sprain. That's painful enough that he collapsed on his way to the locker room. Never a good sign. We have a ligament strain that bad, I will say, from previous knowing and issues. But I mean, it's just looks like he could return soon, is what Dave McMenamin said, the Lakers kind of ESPN reporter or whatever. If you're Anthony Davis, you got to get back on the court, right? He's missed the last 12 games. I mean, that we can't judge the Lakers team without all their guys starting.
No, we can't.
They're not losing every single game. Like losing the Pacers game was bad because they had a big lead and they shouldn't have lost it. Don't get me wrong, but no one's going to tell me that Lakers are out. It's all doom and gloom, whatever. The Lakers can't do anything. Whenever, they're at 500 or right below it after last night, and they're currently the 8th seed, but they're one game back from being the 6th seed.
Yeah, I just don't understand, and don't tell Joel this.
Or 2 games back, excuse me.
Why Westbrook is making these decisions that are just on the defensive side, like he can't follow a defender around. He can't, he can't keep his eye off the ball, and the defender cuts back and gets a wide open layup. It's just he's shown that he's got that level of defense. Why is he just not showing it? I don't know. Like I said, bring him back to the Thunder. They tried to ruin my guy Mikey Muscala. They tried ruining him, and he's phenomenal. He's just just bring Russ back. We're ready to go. I want that.
Fair
Russ
enough.
can be the power forward. How about that? Sabonis center, Russ power forward.
He can be small forward. Who's the small forward right now?
Well, no, it's going to be Giddey, Dort, and Shea. The
point okay.
And then have Russ as power forward.
Yeah, Russ would be a dynamic power forward. He could just dunk on everyone.
Yeah, then you don't even have to worry about him guarding perimeter players because he'll be guarding low post.
He'd be quick enough to make it on the out. To make it if the defender wants to bring him outside, on the 3-point line. Man, he stretch big. He dominated that matchup.
I'm going to call
quicker
Sam
with
Presti.
his hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Sam Presti would take a phone call from an NFL owner, Calvin?
An NFL owner? Hell yeah, he would.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Okay.
What's not to like from that idea?
Especially if I have a ring. Especially if I get a ring.
Especially if you can get a ring. So the next question I have here for you is, how are you feeling about this Thunder season? I mean, the Thunder are playing it perfectly in my eyes. They currently have 2 lottery picks. Right?
Yeah. Look, this better be the last year of it. And I don't want to get rid of Kenrich Williams at the trade deadline. I enjoy that they've been barely losing and we've had some fun. Like that Lakers game was really freaking fun that we got to go to. But this has to be the last year where they're messing with, if they hadn't been adjusting lineups in the beginning of the year, this team would have been at least 4 or 5 more wins.
I'm glad they didn't.
But just imagine this draft. Imagine if, we've started Wiggins, who's had a great game, who's had great games. JRE, we've started, who's had great games. Giddey's been starting. And Trey Mann, I think maybe had 1 or 2 starts, but he's had some phenomenal dunks. Could you imagine if all 4 of those guys stay on the Thunder roster and are actually very good players, either role players or starters, to hit 4 players in one draft, I think would be legendary.
Oh, for sure. I also got to say, Thunder currently, current draft picks, if we just slotted just exactly as the record is, have 4 draft picks in this upcoming draft, 3 first-rounders, though. That's pretty dang good. I'll take it. Now, it's not, granted, that Phoenix pick from the Chris Paul trade is literally the last pick, but of the first round. But still, that's a great pick. I'll take it. You know?
No, yeah, or just packaging it for better first round picks in the future, or say we do go after a Sabonis, just to get. I mean, I don't. One good, hopefully top 5 draft pick, and then package some of these picks, maybe sign someone. I think this team is ready to roll. Shea's been playing lights out these last few games.
Yeah. Shea deserves more credit. He deserves an all-star nod. He's not going to get it, I don't think, but I'm hopeful still. But I mean, over the last 10 games, Thunder are 2-8. They've lost 3 in a row. The record on the season is 14-30 as of January 20th. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good for draft odds. That's what I'm saying.
And
this
it's keeping us entertained.
And I get to root against the Clippers every night. How cool was the Nuggets game last night, right? Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to the Nuggets. Shout out to Jokic.
Oof.
The myth, the man, the Jokic. Right?
Yeah, right.
Saw that coming. All right. So to round it out here, wanted to ask you, with currently the Oklahoma decision for substitute teachers and to be able to basically be a government employee can substitute teach in Oklahoma State Public School, or I think any school in Oklahoma that's public school.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Not really sure exactly how that works.
There's been some good Twitter fights between school districts and state legislators, or I don't really know what this guy's job was. He works for Governor Stint and said, basically like they should have exhausted all options before the Midwest City schools and the Yukon schools closed for a couple days because of the detriment it's doing to the kids. And then the school district responded on the official Twitter feed and said, if you don't think that we didn't expand all options before having to close, you're extremely misinformed. I was just like, oh, yes. Slam.
Burned.
Slam.
Burned to a crisp.
But I think I did see some police officers substitute teaching, which was cool.
Great PR stunt.
Let them shoot guns. Little desk pop, from one of my favorites from the other guys. Little desk pop.
Yeah.
He's Captain did the desk pop. Let the students do desk pops.
I mean, at this point, it seems like why not? To quote Westbrook himself, # why not?
Why not?
I basically want to ask you this though. So at the end of the day, we have a couple of different options when it comes to teachers, in Oklahoma. Let's say you and I get to teach, right? For a semester.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We get to teach. But with that being said, they come up and they're like, we know you guys are sports fans. Do you want to coach a sport? Any sport. Any high school sport.
Mm-hmm.
What would you choose to coach? What would be your choice?
Definitely wouldn't be football. Learned that one the hard way. I wasn't very good at coaching soccer. Easy answer would be basketball, but man, Yeah, I'm going to go basketball. I'll go back. Obvious answer. I'll go basketball. Golf would maybe be second, soccer third.
Golf coach? You're not even doing much. Come on. Are you trying to take this easy or take this? No. You trying to win state? What are we doing?
No. Since I've retired from basketball, I've started picking up golf a little more. So I'm becoming one of those old people. I'm trying to, you've kind of sparked my interest in tennis when we went and did the chicken pickle, but I don't know about that one. That one's a lot of movement too.
Poor what Luke. It is. That's what the goal is.
Shout out to your brother Luke, who was diving on the ground, getting them tennis, or what are those the balls?
Pickleball.
The pickleball itself.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Hang on, I have the ball.
You have a pickleball. Okay, good.
I have the pickleball, Walter.
What does that mean? That's the one he dove for?
You stole the pickleball we used from Chicken Pickle. We bought it. No, we bought it. No, you have to buy the ball. Yeah.
You stole it.
I know. Wow. You buy the ball. You can leave it after you've purchased it, but Luke was like, I want to keep it. And I was like, all right, sounds good.
Oh, so got home. Anytime, because I got there late, so you have to buy the ball?
Yeah. You buy the ball, and then you buy the court time, and then
oh my God,
they give you paddles. Yeah.
I don't even want to know how much they charge you for that ball. How much they charge you for that ball? I want to know.
$2. It didn't
Oh,
break.
okay. Well,
We
that's
played with it
not
the whole
bad.
time. We were good.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah.
$2 ain't bad. $2 ain't bad for
Yeah.
that. And now I
Yeah.
know why. Now I know why Luke was diving. He didn't want the ball to break because you guys paid for it.
Yeah, he was looking out for me and my wallet. That was the exact point.
$2 is $2 at that age, Calvin.
Yeah.
That's two things in the vending machine.
That's true.
Or
That's true.
or
Or
two of the-
a thing. I think now.
Or
Inflation.
or two of those burgers at Brahms. You know those bag of burgers that
Good
we used to
point.
go get from walking from class into to the Brahms. Oh, nice.
I never did that. I probably should have. Probably would have gotten me some exercise in high school that I definitely desperately needed a little bit more of.
Well, no, it's probably a good idea not to eat them burgers, but yeah.
Yeah, probably both. But probably both good things. I will say if I got to coach a sport, it would definitely be basketball, and we'd be setting some killer down screens. Every single play down the court, don't care. We're setting down screens. Okay, the down screen didn't work, straight up pick and roll. There's no shot clock, so what are we doing? Really?
Yeah, no,
Really?
good.
We're setting a lot of down screens, a lot of pick and rolls.
I would go with the Coach Carter approach. I would say, I'd run them and teach them defense, and then they would ask, what did we do for offense? And I said, well, what did you guys do last week? And they go, run. I said, okay, just run.
No, we'd be setting some killer down screens. I've been playing way too much pickup basketball lately, I will say. And I played pickup basketball today on my lunch break. And I am frequently the person where they're like, hey, set a down screen on that guy. Like, don't let him come up. And it's like a double down screen. I'm like, all right, well, that's game. The guy's going to hit this 3-point shot to win it. And then he does. Happened twice. Nice. Both times was very sorry. I was very sad at the end of it. Now, so I'd be setting some killer down screens. I'd be teaching the kids. We playing man to man because I'm not trying to teach like high schoolers 2-3 zone or a 1-4 or a 1-3-1 zone. No, I'm not trying to mess with that too much. But we are definitely, and after watching my littlest brother Luke play basketball for his high school team, we are definitely working on transition defense and offense. That is basically what we are doing 24/7. And then if we can run a play, down screen.
Yep. Welcome to City Ball. Constant running. Now, when you went and set that down screen, if they tried to get around, would you get a little jersey, grab a little jersey, make sure that they you slowed them down at least?
No, it's the other way. I'm the guy. They're like, shut it down. Like, don't let him get around.
Oh, okay.
And then the last
setting the screen. No,
I'm not setting the screen. I'm getting caught in the screen.
Oh, you're getting caught
fully see it. I fully see it coming. And then I see the guy look like deer in headlights as I'm about to run through him. And then I realize, don't know anyone here. That would suck for everyone. And I don't run through him. I run like into him. I don't try to take him out completely. Don't want to see if he's going to set a blocker charge.
It's also pickup. You don't want to deck someone.
No. You gotta be like a decent human being. I go out to the same court and play too many times for people to be.
Oh yeah.
No. I think people have just taken. Oh, well, Calvin's a nice guy, so I can run through him. And some of these dudes are gonna learn. They're gonna learn. I'm gonna keep hitting the gym, and I'm gonna run through a dude once, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, what the heck?" And be like, "Dude, the last game you guys did that and won. You hit the buzzer beater. I've got to try." Yeah. Hey, just talk some smack. Hey, you do that one more time, I'm going to have to run through you next time, man. I can't have the game when shot go over me again. Can't let it happen. Double down screen is just not something you see that much in pickup basketball. Really, that coordination, or really just anyone trying to run, like, set stuff.
Yeah.
Pick and roll is pretty much it. So whenever they did that, I was like, all right. All right.
Not a double down screen, but a little up top picket fence. That's the play. But remember, Calvin, what Hoosiers taught us: don't get caught watching the paint dry on the picket fence.
Good call. Yeah.
There's little Hoosiers. Little
Hoosiers action here on the couch.
Oh, and then of course, this goes without saying. Anything for coaching related, I would use Ted Lasso. So,
Believe.
That
is the worst. Believe, be a goldfish. Those are the three things I would just say.
Believe and be a goldfish. Yep.
And that's the worst. Right? Ned, is the worst.
Oh, Ned's the worst yet.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
not Ned. What's his Nate?
See,
Nate,
that's why I was
jeez.
messing it up. Yeah,
You're
see, I was
testing
messing it
me.
up.
You're testing. Yeah, no, Nate.
Oh,
Nate.
definitely testing.
Nate
you.
is the worst. Yeah, freaking Nate.
Nate is the worst. Nate came out of nowhere with some hardcore rebuttals to Ted. Also, just for 2 seconds, if I joined, let's say you were manager on a soccer team, right? But you're like the dude. Let's say you're Nate, and I fly over. I don't know how the sport works, but everyone universally loves me. Probably pretty mad. I don't disregard every single thing Nate said. I just disregard I disregard so much of how he went about it.
Yeah,
disregard by just being frustrated by that.
He's like, Ted, you made me believe in myself, and you made me love you, and then you took that love away.
And then you didn't pay attention to me again.
You didn't pay attention to me again.
It's like, well, you're a grown-ass man, and also Roy needed much more help and attention from the last season.
Yeah, he's Roy freaking Kent. With his
It's
boots.
Roy. Bloody Roy Kent. All right, well, Walter, anything else you want to add here at the last part of the episode?
No,
the podcast.
The Packers, I hope they can continue on, winning the bye week. Hopefully they can win this week. That's the most important thing. And I'm also going to learn what a margarita made out of liquid nitrogen tastes like. So I will come back with a review of that. That's going to be fun.
Wild. Wow. Well, save one for me there.
I might take a video and you can put it on the CGA Tour, maybe.
Do that. I'll tweet it out for anyone who's curious. With that being said, thanks so much for listening to the latest episode of The Catch-Up on the CGA Tour with Walter and Calvin. Please follow at the CGA Tour on Twitter and Instagram for more. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you guys again soon. Peace.
Oh, dude, next one we're going to do live in person together.
Are we?
It's Tuesday, right? That's our time.
We could.
Before we go out on our rager with your dad.
We are still recording, sir.
Yeah, well, you need to tell your dad that.
He now heard it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. And we'll catch you guys again soon. Peace.